リズムを感じて。今のフォア剣の舞うままや行って、攻撃続行。さあはっほっえい。弱点が丸見えでしてよ。完璧なシーン。まだいるのだわ。やっはい行って。潮風が頬を撫でる。連続得点なのだわ。まだいるのだわ。行って舞いなさい。舞踏会にようこ
お誘いいただけて光栄だわ。得難い余暇だもの。お出かけしなきゃ損よね。
モーメントへようこそ。本日も良い一日を。
タッパーモーメントへようこそ。旅には英気を養うひとときも大切です。一杯のお茶とともに。少々お待ちを。すぐお持ちいたします。
次は朝ごはんを売ってる店に行くのだ。今日もロワリング駅スタートだ。
Oh, yeah, this is the chop. So obviously it's the coffee replacement shop and the ramen replacement shop. So Lumina Square and 6th Street both have the coffee place, but also have Chop Chop in his ramen shop. I never go there, even though it's like it is a cheap bonus you can get in combat. To make combat slightly easier, but it's not like super necessary. Plus, it only lasts for a certain number of battles, so it's the kind of thing where you just like, oh, interesting. Oh, that's kind of cool. So all the more reason to. It's all the more reason to come here every day, I guess.
皆さんがロスカリファ毎日ただほれ向かい
皆さんようこそアンバーホールへ。
どひゃービデオ屋だって十分。
お褒めに預かり光栄よ。シーシャ、ノルムど
もちのろんなの。
まあ偉いわ。そうそう、明日からあなたたちはオーレリア学院の特別転校生として活
オーレリア学院の。
もちろんこの島に来た主な目的は治療のためよね。オーレリア学院は外務警察局が管轄する教育機関なの。通常のカリキュラムにロスカリファについて学びながら。
まあ君らってば皮肉だね。お兄ちゃんが微妙な顔。ねえねえ、足にも学生証ちょうだい。毎日
おいおいシーシア、まあ俺もこう見えてそこそこ年季の入った知能構造。
その同行のお二人なのだけど、ノルムったらシーシアさんの登録情報は随伴式情緒介助用ペットとある政策的な優遇。
そいつは決算。待てよ。
ビリーさんの登録情報は家庭補助用高。
傑作なのはビリーの。やめるのだ。人権の低いとこで競い合うのはあくまで自分だけの部屋。大きくていい匂いがして。
なーに、家電には家電の意地があるぜ。この家庭補助用高性能保。
二人ともちっとも抵抗とかはないんだな。
Actually, I mean, his what did he say? Domestic support unit. Like, he said household appliance. It's like, yeah, but like, realistically, in a world with robots, like, you could consider it like a robot butler or a robot maid, right? Like, that would be an identical thing, right? Because, like, you say household appliance, but like most household appliances aren't multifunctional, right? So, realistically speaking, high-performance multifunctional domestic support unit is more akin to a robot maid or a robot butler, because robots are designed to be multifunctional. Most household appliances have only one function, right? A Roomba is only designed to vacuum. Like a vacuum is just designed to vacuum. You know, a sponge is just designed to clean. You know, a mop is just designed to clean floors, right? These are all single-function devices. Like a toaster is just designed to create toast. Oven bakes, you know. These things all do one thing. That's how most appliances are designed. So, you could say, oh, it's just a household appliance. But I mean, I would say, in simpler terms, I would just say he's a robot butler. Or a robot maid. Although maybe it's kind of racist or discriminatory to call an intelligent construct a robot.
ごめんなさいね。さてリンさん、あなたの目下一番の関心。
明日だって。
ええ、この件は速やかに
その通り。
そうそう、頼まれていた。
助かるよリン。
Although I'm surprised, like, why do they have classifications, right? Like, I understand that we're here as students, right? Because we, especially us, need to be like active and stuff. And if we're going to go in for treatment, we might even need to be going onto the school campus, because that might be where treatment is done, right? It could be like a university where they have their own R&D being performed. And so if we have to go on campus anyway for treatment, having the identity of a student just makes that easier and less conspicuous. So like us having an identity makes sense. I don't see why the other two would need an identity, because they don't even need to come with us, right? They could just stay at home the entire time. Although, I think Sissia's one is really convenient, because an emotional support pet can be brought with you, right? You can be like, yes, I need my emotional support pet when I go to school.
なら、私とノルムーはこれで失礼するわね。
So if we do need like a guard
ハーバーホールは
to protect
学院の
us,
寮でもあるから
having Sissia along with us as an emotional support pet would be good. The problem with Billy is that Billy's whole thing is he's a domestic support unit. And domestic means home. You know, that's why they call him house appliance, right? Because of the domestic part. So it's like, well, shit, you know? Can we bring Billy with us anymore? Because if he's a domestic support unit, then doesn't that mean he has to stay at home at all times? Which is fine, like having a guard for our home is also useful. So I guess these are identities that are fine for Billy to stay at home and guard the house at all times, and Sissia to come with us on occasion to protect us if needed. Oh, is this where our, Oh, wait. I thought it was like, oh, maybe down here is where we're gonna have our HDD. It seems like not. Oh, wait. Oh, it's Bangudor. Wait, what? Yeah, but why would you also have like electric equipment outside in the elements, right? Like that seems like you say they're covered in dust, but wouldn't they be covered in rust? If you're just leaving metal instruments out in the weather. Wait, what? Oh no, is this the way? Oh, this is where we came in. Oh, so this is not... This door is the back door. I thought this might have been the door we came in. But yeah, I mean, obviously, this is a very British mailbox. That's a very British telephone box. But yeah, it definitely has a very Britain vibe. Like, this kind of architecture and design is very much like buildings in England. And I say that, I've been to England. So, like, I actually do know. Oh, it's not just for us. Oh, I see. So Amber Hall is a dormitory for students in general. Oh, I thought it was going to be a place just for us. But I did notice, like, there were a lot of extra rooms. It's like one for each of us, maybe? But I'm like, oh, no, it seems like maybe it's just going to be does that have a handle in the front, though? That's kind of weird. Oh, this one does too. Huh. I wonder why. Is this optional? Take a look around. Does that mean, like, literally around? Like, outside? Or does that mean... Yeah, because the optional thing hasn't left, but I've talked to everyone around me. I've talked to everything. Like, I've investigated everywhere. I'm not really sure what else I can do. Whatever. Let's just go.
すっごくいい部屋。インテリでも見て回るのは後。まずは HDD をセットアップしなきゃ。
Yeah, setting up the HDD, like, where are you gonna set... Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, I guess... I was thinking, like, our 6th Street has a humongous... like, a ton of screens and all that shit. I was like, how the fuck are we gonna set up all that here? But then I remembered, it's like, oh, actually, no, because, like, when we were in Wi-Fi Peninsula, we also had just, like, we just put the HDD on a desk. So it could still be that we keep the main computer system in 6th Street. Like, so it could be the actual computer is housed there, and all of this is just a terminal to it. So we're logging in. We log into the HD from here.
Final port. よし、繋いだよ。フェアリー、コアパッケージの転送を始め。
指令を確認。ランダムプレイメインコン付近に非標準的なアクセスノードを検出。島内ネットワークの更新。
私たちは
リン。
お兄ちゃんか。
ベリナさんが用意してくれた制服、仕立てがしっかりしていて、サイズも。
それ。
いやいや、心配いらない。あっちは僕。
Yeah, we have our domestic support unit. We don't have to worry about this.
何
We can leave it to that.
怪しいじゃん。でも、お兄ちゃんが元気になってきたみたいで。よし。
Okay, so what's our academy uniform look like?
色が明るいから油断するとすぐ汚れちゃうんだよね。カローレ先生は気にしなかった。何考え。サイズはぴったり。いい感じかも。
Oh, it's cute. It's a little childish, though.
着替え終わったし、降りてみんなと合流。
But yeah, it looks cute. It's nice. Workbench. Oh, this thing.
お兄ちゃんたちどこ行っちゃったの？着替え。
もう時間ないじゃん。リンちゃんってばさ、あのクマさんとこのお菓子めっちゃ好きそうだったじゃん。買ってきて並べといたら超最高だったのに。
なーに、もう十分いけてるぜ。もう一枚適当な板っきれ。
こらこら、そのくらい。
おお、店長いいじゃねえか。
来た主役の強盗。あしらちゃんと分かってるかんね。だからどう？
みんなが私のため。
というわけで。
さてと、ちょっとブラブラして。
As far as we have it here, Although I guess there's not really any space along the corner that suits it. Wait, what? Did they misspell 9? Oh, did we not get this? Oh, we didn't get. Oh, I see. We actually didn't get reward for this. Okay. Yeah.
こんな時間ですね。おまけのクリームはいかがですか？
Oh, interesting. So it still has the optional look around. Okay. So maybe it wasn't just that. I guess it didn't say go to bed. And I didn't go to bed. I only went inside my room. I got an outfit. So. Wait, why does their uniform not match? You know, like, why is their uniform different? Oh wait, no, I already interacted with this. Okay, so it looks like no one's here. No one come out here. Nope. Okay. Can't go here. Oh, that's the pantry, really? Let's do a quick check. Can I go in this room yet? Nope. Okay, so it seems like that's it. Ah, okay, so I guess there is still... I guess I don't know if this the optional thing is something... Oh, there you go. I don't know if the optional thing is something that's... Oh, that's cool. It's something that disappears once you've done everything. It could be one of those things that just is always there, just to give you the idea of, hey, there's other stuff to do, or like, so that it could be something that just to put the idea in your head that that you can go explore. You know, otherwise people might be like, oh, the only objective is just to go do this. you might just focus too much on it. Whereas if they give you an optional objective like that, it puts the idea of, hey, why don't you go interact with stuff around? Now, oftentimes when they do have optional objectives, it's like once you've done them, it disappears as an optional objective. It'll be like, optional objective, talk to Valina before doing this. And then once you talk to her, it disappears. So I don't know if, did I miss something? Or is this just an optional objective that just always appears no matter what until, So, yeah, hard to say. Either way, I did speak to everything and everyone I could, so nothing I can do.
それはリンの時間割を待っ今日のテストはマーみたいに手加減しないわよ。泣いても知らないんだから。それ前回も聞いたよ。結局じゃあ前々回は前回は私たちが勝ったわよね。
So it was an academy that was testing on children. And as we see, these two have yellow eyes just like us. Now it's also kind of weird that one has yellow eyes, but she also has glasses. So it's like, if she has eye implants, so why the fuck should she also have glasses? Although to be fair, it might not be that it's from what I can gather, the eye implants are mostly, I don't know, they seem to be mostly helping us process data. So it could be that it's separate to your own eyesight. Your own eyesight can see various things, but this thing is just reading on its own and helping us process data really quickly. It also could be that maybe, like, they had the eye implants implanted. Like, so maybe she had glasses before, and she only just recently had the eye implants implanted, and they haven't yet fully been calibrated and stuff, and eventually once they've been, and this is also like the early stages too. Like even for us, we couldn't even go into the hollows because the eyes put so much strain on our body that we couldn't handle ether. And only the mayor came in with a firmware flash that updated our firmware in our implants that allowed us that improved the efficiency of its processing, so it wasn't putting as much strain on us. So. And this is, 11 years after this point in time. So it took 11 years to get to that point. So hard to say how advanced the eye implants are. It could be that at this stage, it is purely just an implant with no actual benefit, right? It could be that they implanted the children, but the software for them is incredibly rudimentary and not yet to the point where it could replace eyesight.
聞いてたら頭が痛くなってきたよ。はいはい。テストはまだ始まってないんだから。But yeah, so obviously, the fact that they're bringing these two, it might mean that that's going to be like the big bad, right? Because obviously it is weird that we're the only survivors, other than Carol. It seems Carol does seem to have survived, but like none of the other children. Now, obviously it's children, so like it's not surprisingly that in a catastrophe like that they would die. But it is weird that there aren't any other survivors. And so I'm thinking that maybe these two, it's either one of two things, right? Either one, these are two people we knew and we watched them die,
which then, makes us, which is a formative thing in our early childhood. Or two, these are people are being introduced because they're going to come back and they're going to be like bad guys, right? Like they're going to come back with a vendetta and they're going to be like, we've been researching Helios Academy and Helios Academy was actually, a horrible thing doing human experimentation and Carol caused this problem and then Topps and everyone abandoned us and blah, blah, blah. And so they could just be incredibly vengeful. Because we do know that during Hollow Zero, Topps was incredibly manipulative and self-serving, and they used military resources to just secure financial gain, to secure financially lucrative materials over human life, right? So they said they went to various factories to secure important materials instead of actually trying to help out the people who are suffering. And that's basically why Isolde got super pissed. It's because you saw the rampant corruption where a corrupt military officer took his battalion on the orders of a company in Topps to go get their factories' materials and stuff instead of actually helping out the people. And it also led to a ton of suffering and death. I mean, there's a ton of suffering and death all around for the military, but people join the military because they're we want to help people, right? We want to help people, and in a catastrophe like this, they're more than willing to die for a cause. We died so that the citizens of the city could survive. But then when you later realize that all you did, you died just so that people in Topps could get just so a company in Topps could get richer, because they were able to secure a bunch of their materials from their factories from a lost zone, right? So it's easy to think how, so it's understandable why Isolde is pissed about that. So the next thing, of course, would be someone from Topps, or not from Topps, someone from Helios Academy. We obviously are incredibly nice, and we don't seem to hold grudges for anything. We don't even seem to believe that Carol did anything. Hard to know how much we've researched into Helios Academy. I would think we would have done an extensive research into it, because the idea is that we are looking for Carol, right? We're looking for Carol, we're looking for what happened to Carol, and what happened, and what caused the Hollow Zero catastrophe 11 years ago. So one would assume that if you're looking into where Carol might have gone, you would have looked into her backstory and looked into Helios Academy as well. So if there was something shady going on in Helios Academy, one would think we would have found it. But there's also the added possibility that when we did our research was when we were too young and we didn't have the abilities we do now. So we might have only just scratched the surface of Helios Academy and left it at that. So we might have just gotten just a generic overview of some of the publicly stated projects, or maybe just our particular program, but didn't get into the seedy underbelly of Helios. But because we couldn't find any other data, we just assumed there was nothing, and so then we, just looked into Carol and never looked back. It could be like that. Hard to say, obviously, because, but I think the reason why we're dreaming of this, so this is a very good thing. This is basically Chekhov's gun, right? The concept of Chekhov's gun is if you show something, like a gun, right, by the end of the play, by the end of the episode, by the end of the movie, by the end of the scene, that gun has to be used. So basically, you don't show anything that's not going to have any relevance later, right? So if you go into an apartment, if the police go into an apartment looking for a criminal and they find a gun, that gun just can't happen to be there, right? It can't have no relation to the plot. It can't just be like, oh, no, I have a license to carry a gun, and that's it. And that's all, right? Now, obviously, you could use it to obfuscate stuff, where it's the gun itself could make that guy seem suspicious, and so it could be that this guy's at the wrong time, and the gun's purpose is just to make this guy seem guilty, to hide who the real killer is, so that it becomes more of a surprise. So the gun itself doesn't have to be used, but it has to serve some sort of purpose, right? And that's kind of, I mean, especially as I'm playing Wuthering Waves, right? There's just so many instances where it's just like shit randomly happens with no foreshadowing at all. So it's like the anti-Chekhov's gun, right? It's basically, rather than seeing Chekhov's gun in scene 1 and having it be the murder weapon in scene 5, right? We're just seeing the murder happen in scene 5 with a gun we've never seen because they don't ever foreshadow it. Like, I did Chapter 3, Act 3 of the game, and while we're going after Sigilum, as Ameth is trying to pilot the Exostrider, as we're about to attack Sigilum, we get randomly sniped out of the air by some random monster. Literally never seen that monster before. That monster just appeared out of nowhere. We had never seen it before. It's not like when we were, wandering around the ice fields, we had seen the monster, maybe beaten it, and that's like, it's not like we'd seen the monster gone into its territory, and then it was like, it acted aggressive towards us, and then we beat it, and then it followed us, and then attacked us in this moment of vulnerability. No, it just appeared out of nowhere with no foreshadowing whatsoever. It's like, that's bad, right? So, and the way you fix that is you have them earlier in the scene. You have them, like, as we were approaching the Cherry Blossom house, as we were approaching it, a monster awakens from a cave nearby and then jumps in front of us and like, he roars and stuff, and it's like, hey, this monster's trying to protect its territory, let's just, knock it out and move past it real quick, right? And so we do that, right? Having it reappear after the fact, like, because it was stalking us for revenge, would have made sense, right? Would have been fine. And that's all you need to do, right? So this moment, in theory, should mean something. So the thought is that these two children, we're going to meet them again, and they're going to be part of some organization. So it's kind of difficult, because like we had the Exaltus. The Exaltus were like the big bad organization from before, and we've beaten Isolde, we've beaten Sarah, and we haven't heard any peep out of the Exaltus since then. And like, it seems like the creator was kind of a guiding hand behind the Exaltus. And, Isolde was given the mark, and then, which gave her a bunch of creator powers. And then Sarah was given the mark, and she became like super strong and shit. But then we beat her too. And we didn't see the mark transferred anywhere. So it's like, did we beat the Exaltus? Like, is the Exaltus as a faction gone now? Because Sarah was the ultimate leader, and she was like, such a zealot and stuff. Like, are there other key, like, were there any other, like, leadership positions that the mark could go to? Or had we basically, like, continuously, like, wiped out the Exaltus until there are no more now? Because I could see, like, these two maybe, after getting screwed over during the Hollow Zero catastrophe, learning the Exaltus might have picked them up and told them, all the horrible things that Helios Academy was doing and what Carol did. And I could see them, being corrupted and joining the Exaltus. But since we haven't really heard anything about the Exaltus since we beat Sarah, which was many patches ago, it's hard to say if the Exaltus even still exists. So they could have joined maybe another faction instead. So I am kind of curious. But yeah, my initial prediction is that we're going to meet these two grown up, and they're jaded, and they're going to be evil now. And they're going to be trying to, like, get revenge against Helios Academy and Carol, and maybe even Tops, and the government, because of what happened to them during the Hollow catastrophe. That's my guess. Obviously, it's based on literally nothing. We literally just got introduced to these characters. They could just be dead people. She's just dreaming about people she saw die during the catastrophe, and it just left a scar in her mind, and she's kind of forgotten about it. Now it's kind of like bubbling back to the surface. Okay, so I was right too. Notice their golden eyes. I was saying, we have golden eyes, they have golden eyes, we have implants, maybe they have implants. Yes, they do. Okay, so they are also in our same program. All of us have eye implants, and it seems like these eye implants just make our eyes golden.
そういえば最近カローラ先生なんだろう。
テストの前に緊張してたことなんて今までなかった。
違うの。なんか予感？それもすっごく嫌な。今日行ったら何かセレピコ、トリビア、行っちゃダメ。今日のテストには絶対行かないで。
Okay, so I assume that this is the test. I assume today is the day of the Hollow Catastrophe, and that was always one of my theories too about the Hollow Catastrophe. Carol is blamed for it, and while I think maybe the experiment she did caused it, I think that she was not to blame. So my initial thought was that Carol was doing tests and experiments in Helios Academy, and she might have had a research assistant. And I was thinking that maybe that research assistant later became the head of the Exaltus. Like maybe the Exaltus existed even back then, and they were always trying to bring the creator into the world. And so maybe one had snuck into Helios Academy and was a lab assistant. And so during one of the tests, it intentionally, like the lab assistant intentionally like fucked over the test or intentionally made the test go out of control. And that going out of control is what led to the Hollow Catastrophe. And so Carol is blamed because she's the head researcher of this, but realistically, her test was fine. It was only because, of this Exaltus lab assistant that caused problems. But it's hard to tell because, like, the biggest, the Exaltus that we've met, that were in the upper echelon, all of them were recent, right? Isolde only became a leader in the Exaltus because of how she didn't like how Tops treated the military during the Hollow Catastrophe. Which means that her main beef, and the main reason she joined, was because of corruption that happened during the Hollow Catastrophe, which means she couldn't have been part of the Exaltus before the Hollow Catastrophe, right? And even Sarah's whole thing was, she was part of the Hollow Catastrophe. Her life was shit. She came back to the city. She tried talking with them, and I think she felt disillusioned by I forget specifically what happened, but she came back. She tried to say something, but she was disillusioned by the response she got. So she went back and joined the Exaltus, right? So again, the catalyst for her joining the Exaltus was the Hollow Catastrophe. So we've never really seen an Exaltus leader that was there before, right? And initially it was like, oh, it seemed like there was, a big bad. Like, it was like Mevarak before. Then we realized, oh, Mevarak was actually just Isolde. I'm like, shit. Well, then, I can get why she was a leader, because she had the Creator's Mark. But it's just hard to tell if there was a leadership before then, right? Like, who was the original founder of the Exaltus? Is that person still around, right? Are they still there? And do the Exaltus still exist? And are they still plotting and doing some crazy shit, right? So the problem is, just after meeting Sarah, there's been no mention of the Exaltus at all in any of the subsequent patches. So it's like, shit, it's hard to tell. And it's because they basically kind of leaned away from that at the moment, and are leaning more into the Helios Academy stuff. Basically, we're leaning more into our own backstory, which is why we haven't really covered the Exaltus too much, because it's like, okay, we beat them, and now Belle's starting to show symptoms of something going on with her implants and stuff like that. Ah. Okay, never mind then. So it is a guilt-induced thing. I was going to say either they appear later as bad guys, or we kill them, or we see them. Oh, sorry, I didn't say we killed them. I thought they were going to die. It was either they were going to come back and they survived the holocatastrophe, jaded and evil, or they were children who we knew who died during the holocatastrophe and act as a mental scar for us. But yeah, going to kill them. Yeah. So that was something I thought too. I think I did theorycraft this a while ago, that we were the cause of the holocatastrophe. Like, it was us going crazy, us overloading, that caused it. And it definitely made it seem more realistic, considering the last patch, the last epilogue patch, where we took Ramiel's weapon, and then, like, we turned into this, like, monster creature. And we were saved and extracted from it. But, like, you know, that kind of power and that kind of shit was still inside us. So it could have been that this test during the Hollow Zero catastrophe awoken something on us, which caused us to go berserk, destroy the Academy. And Carol was blamed for it because she was the lead researcher in these implants and all that shit. So I am really curious about what the so, like, initially I thought, like, the monster that was awakening in the last patch was going to become the thing that we see, that we already had thingies for. Oh, I see. Can I not? Oh, can I not see that? Oh, oops, it's alright. There we go. Is it... No, that's the people. Is it this? No, that's the teams. Damn it. Do I not have it? Because I... Oh, no, is it... Oh, I can't... Yeah, I guess I can't see it at the moment. But yeah, basically, we get a stand. So basically, our main character becomes a playable character, and we get this, like, stand that appears that, like, fights for us and stuff. And so I thought that maybe, and we had already gotten promotional art for it, so we already knew that we were going to get something like that. And so when, like, we were freaking out before, she's very pretty. When we were freaking out before and turning into that monster, I was like, oh, is this how we're going to, like, become a playable character? Is it, like, this monster is going to become our stand or something? But then it was, like, completely removed from us, and it was like, oh, okay, so it seems like that's not really our own power. Makes it really tough to say, because, like, it all happened because of Ramiel's weapon. So it could be that power is more related to Ramiel's weapon than our own. Although it might have resonated with us. Either way, it was like, it's pretty evil looking. And he's and like said, we're gonna kill you and stuff like that. So, like, that was kind of shit. So hard to say if that's intentional. Oh, I see. Oh, I have to hold it. Got it. Like, so it's hard to tell if the monster that was created, was that a manifestation of our own power, or was it a manifestation of the weapon that we had, of Ramiel's weapon that had taken over us? Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, I see. We have to get all the blocks. Got it. I wasn't really paying attention to the guide. So yeah, so I'm curious. I'm really curious how we're going to become a playable character, because doing this patch, doing this story quest is going to get us our playable character versions. So it'll give us that stand. So I'm kind of curious what it is and how it's going to be explained. And it does seem that basically what happened with Remiel's weapon was probably what happened to us 11 years ago. So we might have caused the holo catastrophe. We might have, I don't know, like, did we absorb too much ether and we just kind of went fucking crazy? And then, like, we resonated with the holo, which then caused it to go crazy too? Really hard to say. So it is really curious, though, because it seems like we might get the answer during this season, because it's a season about us, right? And our abilities. So it seems very likely that we're going to learn what happened at Helios Academy 11 years ago. Especially because we also have Sunbringer here, and Sunbringer was also around 11 years ago. Well, I mean, okay, so we have two things. We have Remiel and Sunbringer, both Void Hunters who existed 10 to 11 years ago. So not only is this a proxy-centered kind of a quest, where we're kind of going to be learning more about ourselves, and by extension, probably what happened 11 years ago, especially because we already had that cutscene showing the children we killed when we went crazy. So it's like, okay, so it seems like we're going to learn a little bit more about ourselves. And then with Sunbringer and Remiel bouncing around, they'll also be able to provide a perspective of what happened, 11 years ago that we might not be aware of. So yeah, I'm very, very much looking forward to this season, because it seems really interesting. Like, season 1 kind of had a slow start as they were, like, introducing more and more characters. And we only even heard of our own motivation only at the end, the epilogue of season 1. At the epilogue of season 1, did the proxies finally mention, oh yes, we want to find Carol. Carol's our teacher from Helios Academy. She's who everyone is blaming for the catastrophe, but we want to know what really happened. So, like, it was the ass end of season 1 did we finally learn that was our motivation for doing stuff. But I mean, like, and just the beginning of season 1 was just kind of a little bit of a slow start. It definitely did pick up once Miyabi appeared, because then we started seeing the Exaltus. The Exaltus kind of had more of things. Like, Sarah was there too as the assistant for one of the construction companies, but it was kind of a slow start, especially considering how they use televisions and stuff to tell the story. And now that they stopped doing that, the pacing of the story quest gets better. And then after like the middle of season 1, they started getting more and more into things. So it's like we learned more about the Exaltus, and then Bringer became corrupted and became a huge monster and shit. So it's like, okay, cool. Like, now we're seeing some like real shit go down. Because before, everything was just like ethereals. Like, ethereals are the bad guys, which is like, well, it's like saying zombies are the bad guys. Like, yeah, sure, zombies are the bad guy, but like, are you gonna like be super worried about zombies? Not really. Like, they are definitely bad and dangerous. Like, they're definitely a manageable thing. So, like, regardless of how strong the ethereals are, I mean, and they did show some really strong ones, like Nineveh. But again, like, since they're all trapped in the hollows, we never really have to, like, worry. So the Exaltus provided an external threat to the hollow, a threat external to the hollows. That was a problem. And they were just actively trying to make the outside world worse as well. So, like, Season 2 was heavily about the Exaltus. So we learned more about them and about the Creator. And now it seems like we're going to go a little more introspective and learn a little bit more about us. So, and then maybe at the end of Season 3, the Exaltus will come back, and we'll meet the true founder of the Exaltus. Hell, who knows? Maybe the true founder of the Exaltist is Carol. You know? Maybe Carol was crazy. And maybe Carol did do some things. Although from the brief little cutscenes we saw of Carol from other aspects, we did see her communicating with some people through like illusions and like shades of the past type stuff. And it didn't seem like she was like directly colluding with them. It doesn't seem like she was like leading them. If anything, they might have had a shared goal, perhaps. But I can't remember. I mean, it's also like those kind of like brief moments were few and far between, so I'm not 100% sure. But it does seem like she's not... Like, she might have joined the Exaltus now, perhaps, to try to accomplish something. It could be that she's still trying to help us, right? It could be that she joined the Exaltus to try to figure out a way to save us, because it could be that, like, whatever inside us went crazy and destroyed Helios Academy and caused the calamity is still lurking inside us and could erupt at any moment. And right now, we're just seeing the symptoms of that kind of power come bubbling forth from us. And so it could be that maybe Carol did join the Exalted after the fact to try to find a way to protect us and save us.
でも事故の原因にロンリコアは関係ないの。あれは研究設備のせいだから。誤解があったらいけないから。失敬。見ない顔だな。外形局の預かりということは地上の人間な。え、この人怖い。なんかただものじゃないオーラだし。
Oh, is she one of those types? She's a super serious type, but also likes puns. She's kind of like Sino then in that regard. Sino seems like a super serious character due to his job, but also really likes puns. And it seems like that's kind of her thing as well. She seems like a super serious character, but she likes corny jokes.
一つロスカリファはそれ自体が機密の地。とりわけそなたらはこのところの出来事にも疎いだろう。くれ不要な厄介事？
I mean, the silly thing about that is like, I mean, it's understandable. Yes, don't get involved in trouble you don't understand. But isn't that kind of giving us permission to get into trouble that we do understand? Because being told to explicitly not get into a specific type of trouble is implicitly giving us implicit approval to get into the other kind of trouble, right? This is the kind of trouble you can't get into, which implicitly allows you to do all the other kinds of trouble. Otherwise, you would just say, don't get into trouble. Like, to make it, like, super simple, it could be like, don't go into out-of-bounds areas, right? Well, obviously, if you're told not to go into out-of-bounds areas, the implicit approval is that you can go into not out-of-bound areas, right? It's that same basic premise.
あの子は少し落ち着きがないところもあるけれど。ベリナ殿、今さらそなたの能力や誠意を疑うものか。何人もこの時期のサモン会など望んではいない。安心されよ。このシグリッドの名において。ええ、本当に助かる。二人とも夜中に今しがた帰って行ったのは彼女自身も。
わかった。でも論理コアの問題って？
かいつまんで言うと、危険な環境下でよりボンプを安定。ところが最近スカモールホローの活性が異常に増大したことで、次世代コアを搭載したボンプ8匹が彼らに共通する部品に対して。
なるほどね。私たちは研究員。
ありがとう。簡単なことではないけれど、あなたたちには大切なゲストとして。
そっか。
そうね。もしよければ帰る
前にノルムーとおしゃべりしよう。貴様らか。ノルムー。
ノルムーが？別になんともないのだ。そうだ、さっきはノルムーをかばってくれてありがとうなの。それに 外務警察局がボンプに嫌われてる？でもノルムーたちの部署ってボンプのサポートもして。その通りなのだ。ボンプにお役御免を伝え、島にいるボンプたちにはいわゆる定年があるのだ。それを過ぎたらここを離れて、とりわけロゼッタデータに携わるようなボンプは機能のそしてロスカリファそのものが機密である大切なことも全部消えちゃう。そんな残酷なルール。そうなのだ。ボンプどもはこの島のあの子たちはよく言えば純粋。湿っぽい今ノルムーにとって一番の関心事は次世代型。
As far as you can't just keep them around, like even if they can't be used for their original purpose, can't you keep them around this place for that? Although I guess maybe that could be it. Like maybe the only Bangboos that ever are sold to New Eridu are always the ones that have outlived their use. So basically, it could be that this place uses up their prime years, where they're the most efficient, and then once they're no longer working to the degree that they need to for this location, they could then be sold. So it could be like every single Bangboo in New Eridu is used, like they don't sell even new ones there. But you wouldn't even know. Like if you were New Eridu, if you only ever got sold used ones and you that had been like refurbished and stuff, like you would, and that's all you ever knew, then that would just seem the norm for you. You might not even know. Well, I guess you would. If they didn't completely refurbish them, and there were some, like, worn parts. So if you're sold a quote-unquote new Bangboo, from your perspective, but then you see worn and used parts, then you're just like, okay, well, this clearly isn't new. So maybe some people might have figured that out, but... Okay, well, I'm gonna... Let's see, what time is it? Oh, here we go. Yeah. So, it's this thing. So we're, as you can see, we're obviously gonna become an agent. So we... permit boards. Oh, this thing, okay. So, we, yeah, so we're going to become this. This is our playable character form. So, you know... So I kind of thought that during the last patch, what was happening to us was we were going to turn into this. I was like, oh, is this how we're going to turn into this? But no, we went like crazy and became a monster we actually had to fight and had to be rescued from it. But it could be that, yeah, this is the power that dwells within us that's trying to bubble forth, but... I don't know, because, like, you know, we haven't properly seen this ever. I've seen the animations for it. It looks pretty cool. But we haven't actually seen it in action. We don't even know how this, like, comes to be. So, that will be interesting. I'm really curious to see kind of what happens and where it takes us. Because it could be that, yeah, like, we went into a form very similar to this, or maybe even similar to the monster that we had to fight back in the last patch during our rampage in 11 years ago. And maybe this is the more refined form, but either way, that will be for later. I've already been walking for an hour, so I've found, and this is a pretty good stopping point, so I'm going to put a pin in this. And I will be back on in about 30 to 60 minutes. I just need to pop into Genshin and Enfield real quick to spend my resin, and then I'm going to be logging into to Wuthering Waves. So I finished Chapter 3, Act 3, and its segue yesterday. So today in Wuthering Waves, I will be doing Act 4 and its segue, and then maybe starting Act 5, depending on how long it all takes. Because But I'm getting really close. Once Act 5 is done, it seems that there's 2 more segues. And then finally, I can start Night City. So hopefully I can get to Night City at the very least by the end of the weekend. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.